I'm going to ask a question. Let me ask a question because you were definitely a Trump super fan. So we're right now. There's the second impeachment trial of the former president happening right now because of what happened on January the 6th. You know, there. What are your thoughts on that? They had to vote yesterday about whether or not it's constitutional or not. Some Republicans, 6 Republicans, crossed over and voted with the Democrat. So the trial is proceeding now. What are your thoughts on the Senate listening to the trial? You know, because he has been impeached by the House of Representatives. What are your thoughts? Do you think he is responsible for the insurrection that happened on January 6th, and he should be prevented from running in office again in 2024 or whenever? Or do you think he's being unfairly targeted by the House members?
Well, he's being unfairly targeted by both Republican and Democrats. Mm-hmm. We have to be talking about the constitutionality of this process. If the Constitution reads, in order to get that the impeachment is the process, I'm paraphrasing, the impeachment is the process that is utilized by the people to take out of office a president or any official for that matter who violate or commit high crimes and misdemeanors, right? So now we have to be certain that we know who the president is, because if we are proceeding with a political impeachment for an officer of an official, a president that is not in office today, then we are violating the Constitution, because we cannot use that proceeding of impeachment to impeach Mayra Jolie, because Mayra Jolie is not an official. Mayra Jolie is a private citizen. But if they are doing that impeachment, so that shows that maybe Robinette Biden is not the president, but it's Donald J. Trump, because these proceedings have to be what I see as the core of what is constitutional. Is the Constitution calling for somebody who's not in office to be tried as if he was the president? It's like us. When we go to BTC and the person already bonded out, we don't go back in front of the Judge Ford because we want to represent that person. That person is detained or not detained, one of the two. In this case, Mr. Donald Trump is the president today, and that's why these proceedings are continued, or he was a private citizen, in which case these proceedings are invalid. The Constitution.
But what about the argument? What about the argument that it's not, they wanted to go forward with the trial before he became a private citizen, and it was a delay by the Republican members of the Senate that didn't happen, so that you should not be able to use the excuse that, oh no, he's a private citizen now, when it's really not the Senate's fault that he wasn't tried when he still was the president of the United States.
Okay, but the thing is that if we are about 2-3 weeks for a changing of administration, is it fair to have the people of the United States paying for an impeachment of somebody who's on their way out? So this is partisan. This think about it. We are what is being done. We are taking away the solidity and the validity of the process. We already impeached the guy once, and now we're going to impeach it again. Eventually, we call in the wolf so many times. Impeachment is going to mean nothing for anyone. And that's when it comes to the problem. If we're going to talk about was he inciting violence, we're going to define what inciting violence means. But for me, when Maxine Waters get into a microphone and say, when you see somebody from that administration, you form a crowd and you push and you tell them they're not welcome here, that is inciting violence, because people took that to house. And then when Ron Paul and his wife were leaving, I don't know where they were in Washington, D.C., the people did exactly that. They formed a crowd. They went around it and they pushed and then make them know that they are not welcome here. That Ron Paul and his wife, they felt that their life was in danger. So what happened when we are saying that President Trump was inciting violence, when he's the only one who has sent a speech about everybody, we have to have peace. And he is the most peaceful president because people, Israel, we see the middle, the peace in the Middle East, that was negotiated by him. It was Korea. I mean, we put in check this guy, Kim Jong-un. I was a Democrat and I remain a Democrat. So nobody can give me stories. And let me tell you, the same way that the Democrats start publishing and advertising for hater, to hate somebody, the Republicans do that the same too. Mm-hmm. How many Republicans hate Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez? All of them. And they make the people hate her. But I can't, because some things that she said, they are not that far-fetched. Today, she said that the people who have somebody who died of COVID will be able to recover $7,000 to pay for that. Why will I say no to that? Why is that so bad? Oh, but if I'm a Republican and I'm going to be loyal to the party, I have to hate that too. So none of the two are worth anything for me. That's why I'm running as a non-party affiliate in one of my running for Congress. That's when I realized, wait a second, they are all the same. They both try to use fear-mongering and hate one another. Mm-hmm. So depending on when they want us to be. So I don't think this is constitutional. I think this is a waste of our money because we have to work hard for our money, but they don't have to. And in order to put a show for the constituents, because you see, everything is put out there. If they were so concerned about the validity and the sacredness of the Constitution, there are other things that could be put out there for the people to get more trust.